So another April, another Record Store Day announcement. We have 2 summer events coming up in June and July. So I'll be discussing those events. I'll also be discussing my top picks for albums I want to buy. Also, I'll be discussing those rock and metal titles that I'm going to pass on, but I think you might dig, especially if you watch my channel. I'm also going to talk about the US list as well as the UK list. So you're definitely going to want to stick around. So to briefly explain Record Store Day, it is a twice-yearly event that happens in participating record stores around the world. Yes, this isn't just a US and UK thing. It also happens in Australia and Japan and Mexico and Germany and all sorts of places. For these one-day events, what happens is that the record labels put out albums. Some of them can be reissues with bonus content. Some of them can be previously unavailable recordings. Some of them are picture discs. Some are 7-inch singles. You name it. And speaking of picture discs, this year's list seems to be full of them. More than ever, actually. 22 of them I counted, which is quite a few for this Record Store Day. I don't know why that is. I'm not a big fan of picture discs, even though I have some on the wall over there. I don't buy them much anymore. I don't like the sound of them. So I'm not going to be going after those. I'm also not going to be going after 7-inch singles or anything like that. So the events this year take place on June 12th and July 17th, 2021. Those are both Saturdays, which is really great for us folks who work during the week. I know when RSD Black Friday rolls around each year, I tend to miss out because I'm at work. And then I go into the store at 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, hey guys, what's left? And they look at me like I'm insane. Also, if you want to find out where stores are given COVID restrictions, I'm not sure what's going to be happening come June or July. Maybe they're mostly lifted, maybe they're not. You should definitely check your local record store's website or their social media accounts. If they're a participating record store, they should have some information about how they're going to handle Record Store Day, given whatever COVID situation we still have. And I should warn you that not every RSD title is going to be at every single participating record store. What happens is the record stores, they buy the titles they think they can sell. So depending on your region, depending on the popularity of certain genres, they buy that way. The other reason they do that, of course, is because they can't return these records. They're stuck with them once they buy them. It's very different from handling records from other distributors during any other period of the year, where they can take their overstock and push it back to the distributors. They can't do that with RSD. So they get pretty selective on what they're going to buy up front. So given that, here are my top picks for records I want to buy from both Record Store Day events in 2021. Starting off with records in June that I want to get, this is Def Leppard with Live in Oxford. It's coming out for the US and the UK. RSD first release on this one, 4,000 copies total. It's a live show. It's recorded back in 1980, which starts the 3-album period of Def Leppard I really love. That's On Through the Night, that's High and Dry, and that's Pyromania. Everything after that, don't really care about. So, kind of excited to get this one. This recording was part of a CD box set called The Early Years, but this is the first time it's coming out on vinyl, and I believe it's the first time it's coming out as a standalone release. You can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that last part, but yeah, looking forward to this one. Also in June, but for the US only, this is Stryper with Goddamn Evil. This is a reissue, obviously, of their album before last. Kind of a hard record to get for Stryper fans, on vinyl in particular these days. So this reissue is probably well needed. This is an RSD exclusive release. It's 1,200 copies total. Colored vinyl. It also has a Japanese bonus track on it that is a bonus track that was on the Japanese edition of the record. So in a sense, it's the de facto Japanese version of this record. So pretty cool. Again, you have to be into Stryper to really enjoy this, but I'm sure there's some fans out there, as I found out. Also in June for records I want, but this is a UK release only, so I'm going to have to go after it in the aftermarket. This is Greatest Hits Volume 2 from Goblin, covering 1979 to 2001. As you might remember last time around, I bought the Volume 1 that came out, so I'm going to want Volume 2. This is an Italian prog rock band. They started in the 70s. They scored a lot of great Dario Argento films, some of the Giallo stuff he did, but also some of the horror movies he did as well. What sucks about this is that the RSD UK site, as usual, doesn't have a lot of details on the release in terms of vinyl variant or copies that are released, number of copies released. So I don't have any of that, but I do find that other sites are talking about this release, and they say that it's coming out in green vinyl, and there'll be a gatefold jacket. So we'll see if that's actually right. Moving on to records in July that I'm looking forward to get. This is a US and UK release. It is a reissue of a classic New York hardcore album from the 1980s, 1986 to be precise. This is the debut album from Cro-Mags. Yes, The Age of Quarrel is getting a reissue, finally, after years of it being totally out of print. This is an RSD exclusive release. 3,600 copies will be available. My OG of this from 1986 is awful. It skips, it's scratched, it's awful. So I'm really looking forward to this new edition, have a nice clean copy to play. The UK site states it'll be in red and black splatter, but the US site isn't specifying a vinyl variant at all. So there's that. Also coming out in July for the US and the UK is another reissue, another classic 80s punk band. Of course, this is the debut record for Fear. It's known as The Record. And this will be an RSD exclusive release, 3,500 copies total. It'll be coming out in 140-gram clear and white mixed vinyl. And it'll also come with a bonus 7-inch Christmas single. Those of us who are Fear fans know that Christmas song quite well. There is the edit version and the not edit version on each side of the disc. Comes on transparent red vinyl, for those looking forward to that. It'll also come with a cardboard art stencil of the logo. Obviously, look at the cover. You can see how it looks. You can make your own wherever you go. So there you go. Also coming out in July, but for the US only, is the Best of Judas Priest, obviously by Judas Priest. This is an older compilation album for them, so clearly this is a reissue. An RSD first release on this title, and either 2,000 or 3,000 copies are coming out. The US website is a little confusing in that regard because they list both numbers. Why is that? I don't even know. Maybe they'll fix that sooner than later, but for now, that's what we have. This release is similar to the previous release, Sad Wings of Destiny. Remember, they reissued that in a special edition. They're giving that same treatment to the Best of Judas Priest as well. It'll have an embossed, raised cover like the other one, and also a colored vinyl. This time around, though, it'll be clear and black with gold splatter. And the album spans 3 sides of the records, and then side 4 is an interview. So if you're interested in that, you should get it. I know I am. And also in July for the US and the UK, yes, another live Ramones album. This is Triple J Live at the Wireless Capitol Theatre. It was recorded way back in 1980 in Sydney, Australia. This is an RSD exclusive release, 6,000 copies for the US out of a possible 13,000 copies worldwide. And this was a previously unissued live radio broadcast. And you've heard me talk about live radio broadcasts before. Radio broadcasts tend to sound a little bit better more often than not, especially if you're looking at bootlegs. Again, go to my bootlegs video to hear more about that. This will be in 180-gram black vinyl, and I did buy some of the other Ramones live stuff in previous record store days. This one's 1980. I don't have a 1980 live album, so I'm probably going to get it, just because. And in other releases I'm not getting, but you might get, in June for the US and the UK, we have Ailstorm with Sunset on the Golden Age. This is a reissue. Their 4th album was released in 2014. If you don't have it, you can get it this way. RSD exclusive release, 1,000 copies in the US out of 3,000 copies worldwide. And this is in golden black splatter vinyl, and also comes in a gold foil gatefold jacket. So if you're a big Ailstorm fan, you don't have this title, why not get it? This next set of reissues is a little perplexing considering we just saw deluxe vinyl versions of these released mere weeks ago. These are the picture disc versions of Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell from Black Sabbath. They are exclusive releases, 4,000 copies each. And again, I guess if you like picture discs, have at it, but why wouldn't you want the deluxe 2LP vinyl sets with the bonus tracks? I don't know. Of course, those aren't the only Black Sabbath reissues coming out for Record Store Day. We also have a reissue of Master Reality, their 3rd album from 1971. Comes in purple vinyl and with a poster. Great Sabbath album, one of my very favorites. You should check into it if you haven't already. This is a good excuse to do that. Hell, you should get it. Sticking with June releases that I'm not getting, but you might. For the US and the UK, we have a reissue for Eshan. This is After, 3rd studio album from back in 2010 for this band. This is an RSD first release, 2,500 copies total. It is a 2LP colored vinyl set. The first record is in black and white swirl, and the second record is solid pink. And why not? Comes in a gatefold jacket as well if you're interested in that. Yeah, Eshan. Not my favorite band, but maybe it's yours. Also in June for records I'm not getting, but you might, we have a reissue of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre by Motorhead, this time in a 10-inch picture disc. This will be for the US and the UK. It is an exclusive RSD release, 4,000 copies total. As you might remember, the original came out in 1981. It's a collab between Motorhead and Girl School. It's a 3-track record. Please Don't Touch is on the A side, with Emergency and Bomber on the B side. If you want to hear Please Don't Touch, that version specifically is on their No Remorse comp, Motorhead's No Remorse comp, back in the mid-'80s, if you're interested in that. That's about it. This is basically for the celebration of their 40th anniversary of this release. But again, it's a picture disc. Don't need it. And of course, it wouldn't be a Record Store Day list without a Dio picture disc, because we get them every damn time. This is God Hates Heavy Metal. It's for the US, and it's an exclusive release, as always, 3,500 copies. And as is often the case with these Dio picture discs, it's basically a single with 2 extra tracks. But often enough, they're charging full album price. So I've been put off by that. I bought a couple, but I'm not going to buy any more of these. I just can't. But if you're a huge Dio fan, bigger than I am apparently, then have at it. But I'm out. So the choices for me this time around are fair to good. Very little that's particularly great, but then again, I go to the record store and sometimes I buy the titles I didn't think I was going to buy. So the ultimate buying decisions happen in the store at that moment. I walk in with one list, I walk out with slightly different records, but some of the ones I wanted as well. So we'll see what happens. So again, the events are happening on June 12th and July 17th, 2021, generally starting early in the morning. It'll be interesting to see if they actually stick to these dates. We all remember last year that the events were postponed and they were split up. So I'm hoping that we actually have these June and July dates locked in. We'll see though. And of course, if you want more information on Record Store Day in general, you should definitely check out the official website. For the US, that's recordstoreday.com. And for the UK, that's recordstoreday.co.uk. And of course, if this is your first time visiting my channel, this is the Accusation Network, where I do metal vinyl collecting videos every single week, sometimes once a week, sometimes twice a week. You should definitely check out the playlists, definitely check out all the videos, like, subscribe, and share. All of that helps me out greatly. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.